Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
And ciao, saliden.
To buy our merch. The next song we are doing is Trading Yesterday Shatters for the big homette.
Shattered.
What did I say?
Shatters.
Shattered.
You said shattered.
Yeah, I think it's because I was thinking about what the name of the... So Saber Wolves is the requester of this song.
Okay, Saber Wolves is the requester of this song called
So we
Shattered.
will let you know what we think. And still, the real Ben Webb, will he stand up?
What? With the real Ben Webb? We got the real Ben Webb right there.
I find you so agreeable tonight.
I know. Ben is so agreeable today. So agreeable. Okay, guys.
All right.
The time has arrived. What the heck is going on? Do you hear something?
Yeah, I just thought it was your background music.
No. Okay. Shattered. Let's go. I've never heard of this band. What's the name of this band?
Trading Yesterday.
Trading Yesterday.
If you're charged enough.
Shout out to the White Anomaly. He knows who he is. Let's go. Oh, you need battery, babe?
Yeah.
Okay. Boom. There you go.
Thank you.
There you are, dear listener.
Thank you for sharing my charger with me.
Shattered lyrics. Let's go. I'm drinking Gatorade.
I know. Somebody thought you were drinking Windex. It's not Windex.
Yesterday I died.
Okay.
Tomorrow's bleeding. Fall into your sunlight. The future's open wide beyond believing. To know why hope dies. And losing what was found, a world so hollow, suspended in a compromise. The silence of the sound is soon to follow. Somehow, sundown, and finding answers is forgetting all of the questions we called home, passing the graves of the unknown. As reason clouds my eyes, with splendor fading, illusions of the sunlight, and a reflection of a lie will keep me waiting, with love gone. for so long, and this day's ending is the proof of time killing all the faith I know, knowing that faith is all I hold. And I've lost who I am, and I can't understand why my heart is so broken, rejecting your love. Without love gone wrong, lifeless words carry on. But I know, all I know is that the end's beginning. Who I am from the start, take me home to my heart, let me go, and I will run, I will not be silent. All this time spent in vain, wasted years, wasted gain. All is lost, hope remains, and this war's not over. There's a light, there's a sun, taking all the shattered ones to the place we belong, and his love will conquer. And I lost who I am, and I can't understand why my heart is so broken, rejecting your love. Without love gone wrong, lifeless words carry on. But I know, all I know is that the end's beginning. Who I am from the start, take me home to my heart, let me go, and I will run, I will not be silent. All this time spent in vain, wasted years, wasted gain. All is lost, hope remains, but this war's not over. There's a light, there's a sun, taking all the shattered ones to the place we belong, and his love will come.
Oh my word.
Yesterday I died, tomorrow's bleeding. Fall into your sunlight.
Jeez.
What band is that?
Jeez,
Wait, scroll real quick.
Trading Yesterday.
Oh, Trading Yesterday is a band. Okay.
Yeah.
Are they a
holy
Christian
crap.
band?
They've got to be.
Why do they have to be?
Well, how else does a song make any sense? It makes so much sense if they're Christian. If they're not Christian, I don't even know what they're trying to say. Wow, Saber Wolves.
Love
wow.
will conquer. Saber Wolves here. Shout
I
out to
don't
Saber
know,
Wolves.
but she's gonna watch it. So wow.
That was a good one.
Oh my gosh.
What about the song
It's.
was so meaningful to you
I mean, it's.
personally?
It's God, you know, like. You guys, you know, mostly know my story. I grew up in a Christian home. You know, I felt, you know, pretty close to God all through. Like, I can't even remember a time where I was, like, conscious of myself, where I wasn't conscious of God.
Yeah.
And
Same.
yeah. And then growing up, I kept finding myself in very controlling environments. And then, you know, I finally left my parents' house and I went to a Bible college. It turned out to be a cult, but I didn't know it about till like 6 months ago. I just know that when I left the college, I felt really, really awful. Like I just couldn't.
Well, the thing is that, like, it's not just you. Like, pretty much it's like it's like a body count almost.
Yeah, it's really, actually, it's so bad that I actually, like, I feel like that how I went was kind of tragic, but it's like their stories look way more tragic than mine.
It seems to me you got the best of it.
Yeah.
Like, but you still, they still did a number on you.
Yeah, yeah. And
You know what I'm
so,
saying?
going from there, then I was a part of this amazing church, and such great stuff was happening at this church. Great stuff was happening with, helping homeless people and just broken people and people that were really hurting. And I loved what we were doing there, for the most part. There was some days that were just very difficult, but we lost people that, that were part of who we were trying to help and stuff. So that's always a painful.
Lost a lot of people.
And difficult thing, yeah. And then, I went through a divorce. And so, my family was always looked at as, the family. Everybody wanted to be that family, and so our issues or problems or whatever were very hidden, and we just looked like the perfect family, which to me, now that I'm on the outside looking in, I'm like, why did anybody fall for that? Why would anybody think anybody's family's perfect? How irrational. Nobody has, you're dealing with a bunch of sinful people.
You guys were literally perfect, or just, you guys were just so far above everybody?
I mean, what's really the difference?
The thing is, Maine is such a small place, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
That I was in a Bible study 4 years before I met her. I was in a Bible study, and her family came up, and specifically they were talking about her.
We didn't go to that church that he's talking about.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
Completely different church. We did not roll in the same circles or anything.
Right.
And you were famous in the little evangelical your family. It was oh yeah, that girl, and she's so serious about the Bible and blah blah blah. The dudes were just going on and on. Of course. When I finally ran into you, it was at a Bible study. It was the first time, the first time I saw you, and I was like, "Oh my God, this girl is crazy." Because, at the time, you were the only person that was as serious about all this shit as I was.
Studying commentaries.
In my opinion,
yeah.
No, I wasn't. I mean, commentary was cool, but because you were a Pentecostal and you were looking at it, I didn't even know that Pentecostals could read. So,
wow.
Except for my mom. My mom was the only exception.
How rude.
I mean, look, aside from Gordon Fee, Pentecostals don't have an academic or scholarly, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not
okay.
And I was in the middle of all that reform shit. So, I remember I first saw you and I was like, wow, yeah, man, that girl is okay. I was massively impressed, whatever that means. And then, I found out, oh, that's the girl everybody was talking about. My point is, she is, famous in this little subculture. So then she goes and gets a divorce and marries a black guy.
Why did you say it that's so
because
funny?
You know.
Okay, yeah, okay.
You know.
Well, the divorce was I would say bad enough, but I don't want to sound too whatever. Because we my family was looked at it as only ever being perfect, and divorce was looked at as the nastiest thing. Then when I went through a divorce, I just felt all of that. There's so many things that you could just feel coming at you. It was a very, very, very difficult time. And then it was hard. It became very difficult to separate the actions and the words of people that called themselves by the name of God and God himself. It all kind of grouped together. And so when I opened up my Bible and I started reading the words that I was very familiar with, just reminded me of all that. And it reminded me there was just too much baggage that is not like God that was connected to the things of God. And so I went dark, I guess, for a while. And it was a hard time, but if you'll look, when we first started our channel, that was basically when I was just in the thick of I can't do this anymore. And, there was the first time I started cursing and stuff was but we started the channel. And so the channel was a good big part of it. But to me, this song is the song of my return home. Even up until a very short period of time ago, I wasn't even really reading much in the Bible. That's something that's just kind of come back around to doing because I said, I couldn't make the separation. So yesterday I died, tomorrow's bleeding. It's the death of all of that, and tomorrow's bleeding because it's not fixed. It's weird because you would bleed and then you die, but this is you died and now you're bleeding. But then fall into your sunlight. It's just, I love the way this song was so poetic. Fall into your sunlight when there's all that chaos, but the fall to me was this slow and a release. just like falling back into it, like when you play that game where the person gonna catch you behind you, you know what I mean? Like, so it was like fall into your sunlight, which obviously to me was to God, like fall toward God. The future's open wide beyond believing, to know why hope dies. Losing what was found, a world so hollow, suspended in compromise. Like, to me, like, a lot of this stuff was just talking about my interpretation of how the past would be. And then, like, let me get to the other part that I really like. And this day's ending is the proof of time killing all the faith I know. Knowing that faith is all I hold. So it's like, today's closing and the sun setting on today is proof that the faith that I've known is ending, but that all I know is faith. And so there was like this time in the Bible where like Jesus said some crazy thing and they misunderstood what he was saying. And so a bunch of people left, but Jesus said it like on purpose. And so a bunch of people left, and then he looks to his disciples and he's like, are you also going to leave? And they said, well, where else are we going to go? You're the only one that has the words of life. You know, so even I don't even think knew whether he was like literally speaking or figuratively, but they were like, well, either way, we're here. Like, we've experienced your words. And so, there's a sense in which while I was on that, like, kind of closing myself off from like religion and the Bible and God, that I started feeling very, very lost. And sort of like in a darkness. And I was scrolling on Facebook today, and you see it almost every single day. People talking about how lost they feel, how overwhelmed they feel, how like there's no like peace. And then I always think of that verse where Jesus tells them, come to me. And he says, like, my burden is light, and everything, you know, can you quote it better for me, please? The way is, okay, honey, are you with me?
I was looking at Matthew Winter.
So he basically says that his burden is light and his way is easy.
I'll address it in a second. Go ahead.
And that there's rest in him. And like, it's weird because like a lot of people I think don't know that Jesus said that. And so when you're walking around and you're feeling lost, you're feeling tired, you're feeling overwhelmed, and you're feeling dark and just fully discouraged, it just seems like sometimes that there's no hope. And if you don't know that Jesus said it's not supposed to be heavy like this, come to me and I'll give you my burden, and it's a very light burden. And I think a lot of times we want to reject God because we think, oh, he's just a bunch of rules and stuff, not knowing that he, like, when you come into what he's doing and you jump in on his plan, it's like, oh, well, I didn't realize it was going to be like this is much, like, there's like peace that goes with it. And it doesn't mean situations are going to change in your life. Situations will still stay the same, but you have a sort of rest, and you kind of like, it's that sort of out of control feeling of being lost and being not found kind of goes away. So, and then it says, who am I from the start? Because even like from the moment that I'm conscious, I know that I knew God. And then from there, like, stuff got muddled, and being in controlling environments, all these different things got muddled, but it's who I am, and who I am is to be close to God. And so I've lost who I am, and I can't understand why my heart is so broken, rejecting your love. But that's what happens. Like, God is giving his love toward people, and then, you know, people will be like, I don't want that. I was like that. I just like can't look at all that right now because God's love and people's thoughts about me and everything was just too much. But without love gone wrong, lifeless words carry on. But all I know is, oh, wait, no, right here. But it's all I know, like that. So it just kind of kept going to that. And then just the whole thing, like, who I am from the start, take me home to my heart. Let me go, I will run. I will not be silent. It's just a beautiful, just a beautiful picture.
How did you take the I won't be silent part?
Because for me, like, the majority of my life, I've always felt like embarrassed by silly things. Like, I wouldn't have been crying on camera. If I laughed, I would always cover my mouth. Like, I had all of these things. Like, you know, like the transitions that I've come to. Like, I would never have eaten on camera. That would never have happened.
You've never eaten on camera?
No.
Why? Eating is bad too?
Eating in front of people was not something that I like to do. That was something that I felt very embarrassed about, eating in front of people. Probably because I had issues with, eating disorder or whatever. And then, I would have canceled the whole show being that I gained weight. After having a couple kids, I would have canceled this whole thing. I don't want to be on the camera like this.
You'd cancel the show?
Or I would have gone into anorexia or something to be presentable to what I think I should look like. Just all these things. But so this idea of being loud and boisterous and there are certain kinds of loudness that I was okay with. So if it's you're cheering for somebody or something like that, all those things are good. But you yourself, crying very loudly, that wouldn't be happening. Stuff like that. Or if I'm getting very angry, I'm not going to yell or whatever. But to me, this was let me go. I will run and I will not be silent. It was just this like the birthing room sort of loudness, going back to God no matter what, and it's not this slow, quiet walk back, but it's just this reckless sort of loud, abandonment of everything that's behind and saying, you know what, whatever is behind me and whatever everybody has to say about that or whatever I think about that, it doesn't matter. The past is the past and I'm going back to where I knew home was. So it's a very good song for me.
Good. I agree.
You?
I mean, I was going through the old videos of stuff that we did together, in that ministry that we did, and we ran into a video of Sean. And Sean,
he's our friend that had passed away 2 weeks ago from overdosing.
Yeah, we caught him 2 minutes before he died. It was this big dramatic thing, saved his life. And then we, he had a homecoming at the church. His mom was there. I remember that. His mom had come.
Yeah. Because
I said, yo, man, you got to go and tell people what God's done in your life, bro, because this shit's crazy. Mm-hmm. And because, our city had taken a bunch of losses as far as the opioid epidemic. You guys remember, prior to COVID, it was the opioid epidemic, which was a big thing. So I saw that video, and I didn't watch it because that was actually the best night. We at the site, we had other things at prayer nights and stuff where ridiculous miracles happened. Mm-hmm. And I told everybody, I'd look around at everybody, I'm like, you guys need to enjoy this time. I kept saying it to everybody all the time. I'm like, enjoy this time. It's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's not going to stay like that forever. I knew I was leaving pretty early, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I don't know if you remember this, but I sent you an email, I was on a trip. I sent you an email, I was like, yo, I'm out.
You did?
Oh yeah, I wrote a resignation letter. Hold on.
Oh,
remember that
yes,
whole situation?
you told me to. Yeah. I do remember that.
Half of that was a domestic issue. Half of that was. Mm-hmm. I was on a trip. It was about to get extended 2 months, and then we found homeboy. So, but
wow.
Yeah, it was. I was just on the video. I was kind of hovering around it, and I couldn't watch it. Because that was the best, and it wasn't. The thing about it is, it's not. That was the best night there, we've ever had there. Because it was, and I didn't speak that night. Jay was speaking that night. Jay spoke at the end. I didn't speak that night at all. I was emceeing it.
That's
that girl
right.
had cancer. We prayed for her. I told her, look, all these people. Because I said, if you promise to pray for her, raise your hand. Because I had been talking to her, she was terrified.
Yeah.
And so I brought her up, and I said, if you're going to commit to praying for her this week, all through surgery, raise your hand. Everybody raised their hand. I told her, look out from the stage, and it's all these people with their hands raised, and she starts bawling, obviously, and people take her off the side or whatever. And it was just it was just the best night, man. Mm-hmm. And now, dude just got killed by the police. We're not there anymore, and people started dying like crazy, shootouts, all types of shit. Mm-hmm. And So it's every time I see somebody dying down there, because it wasn't happening like that when we were losing people to drugs, but we were also we were making it. You know, we had a situation with a gang war happening. Folks went in the middle of that shit.
Yep.
And you know, like we really. So now every time I see somebody die or something over there, like it's like, man, if we would have been there,
I know.
Maybe things would have been a little bit different for those people, you know. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't even watch that video. So I was just thinking about Sean as, you know, the whole situation, and I have a hard time with that one, man, because it worked. Like, we got him.
Yeah.
But he just, I get it, man. You know, I get it.
When I see like his recent pictures and stuff, like he didn't look like he did when he was like heavily using, and so I'm like, maybe he was, you know, going regular. I mean, we have a big problem with weed being laced with fentanyl in our area, so it might have not even been like, you know what I mean, like maybe he wasn't even using anything hard. Like maybe it was just like he was just like, no, smoke a little bit of weed, eat some food, and go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like he might not have known that was that 100%. Was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know that necessarily it means he was going back to the hard stuff that was gonna then, you know. So I comfort myself with that, and with I love like when one thing can affect other things in a positive way, especially when something seems tragic. And, you know, I don't think that we don't have this channel now for no reason at all, and that we have lots of people that are in situations where they need to get help. And we got emails, like one person said, like, actually, this makes me think I should just go to the ER right now instead of waiting. And so that it doesn't fix the sadness or the tragedy, but it does bring a little bit of comfort that good is going to come from that situation.
Yeah.
That he's not just like some people die and they're on the floor and nobody knows they're there for days, and then they get found and they basically get put in a nameless grave because nobody even knows them. Yeah. But he's known and we know him, and you guys know him now. We can say his name, and so those things are important to me.
Yeah, he's known. And you know,
and him, like, he's not in any more pain, you know, like he's in a good spot.
He definitely wouldn't trade places with us, that's for sure.
Right, but I feel, you know, for his mom and his kids and his girls, it's just, oh god.
Yeah, but
shout out to everybody actually that had helped with the funeral expenses.
Yep, and a lot of people donated for that. Thank you guys for that. We were able to help Sean and more. So thank you guys for that. Mm-hmm. Okay, what do you give the song?
11.
It's a 9.8. Shout out to the Little Fey Witch. Good to see you. Really, really, really good song. Really good song. I like the determination. I like the realism about how hard life is. But that determination that you're not going to give up hope, like that's a big thing. It's like, that's what I love about the metal community, but also where we need to improve. Like, we're very good in the community about pointing out how bad life sucks. And we need to do a better job, I think, about pointing out, like, okay, let's give each other hope. Let's give each other a reason. Yeah. Whatever. And like I said, that manifests itself in a lot of different ways, from a song like this, which is explicitly hopeful, or a guy like Nergal sharing his story about leukemia. And I told that story a bunch of times about being at the Behemoth concert, and the kid behind me was talking about how Nergal's leukemia, you know, inspired him and all that. And the whole Wolves of Siberia, like Nergal's philosophy of, come on, like self-motivation, that type of thing. I don't care what it is. I don't care how it's, you know, it's packaged in a very dark, satanic, whatever. And I, obviously, as a Christian, there's some issues there, but I'm talking about the overarching, what inspires you to overcome the troubles in your life. And you can't always focus on the negative, but you have to acknowledge the negative. Otherwise, you're never going to go anywhere. So The burden of existence is a hell of a thing. So shout out to everybody. So there you are, dear listener. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Got 'em.